The red dust settled over the village of Nokegu as sunrise crept across the curving hills. In that place, young Itanda stood by the granary, listening to the old wind sigh through the cornstalks. At 19, he was the pride of his mother, Amina, an orphan son with bright eyes and a promise of city ambitions. Amina had once told him, "When you go to Lagos, remember who you are. But remember also that some treasures hide beneath plain cloth." Itanda carried two dreams. 1. To rise beyond the narrow fields and dusty market of Nokegu, to the gleaming towers of Lagos. 2. To win the heart of Nneka, the daughter of the village chief, stubborn, proud, and fiercely loyal to tradition. On his last night before departure, under the baobab tree, Nneka pressed into his hand a small carved wooden bird, an omen of his safe return. She warned him, "They will offer you gold and velvet. Don't forget the red earth where you began." On the bus to Lagos, the city swallowed him whole. He felt small. He walked past neon signs, honking buses, and stretching shadows. He found lodging in a crowded house on the island, a borrowed mattress and a hope-laden smile. He took a job as a messenger for a finance firm. He sent small amounts back home. He phoned his mother on Sundays, told her, "I am fine. I will send for you soon." But each week he felt the city coat him in a different skin, new voices, new demands, new temptations. One evening a wealthy stranger, dressed in a crisp suit, stopped him in the street. "Young man," he said, "you carry the look of someone who rises." Itanda felt a tremor of recognition, but not in the stranger. He nodded politely. "Good. You'll start tomorrow." "Big things." Itanda accepted. On his way home, he thought of Nneka's carved bird, the promise of home, the red earth. He wondered, would the city change me so much I forget both? That night, Amina in the village looked at the granary's single lamp and recited the old incantation, "Return safe, my son. Return whole." She touched the carved bird she kept on the shelf, waiting. In Lagos, the stranger revealed himself as Mr. Adeoye, a tycoon, feared and revered. He offered Itanda a contract, humble at first, delivering confidential files, making calls, keeping secrets. Itanda, eager and naive, accepted without asking too many questions. He told himself, "This is the ladder I climb." But the ladder's rungs are slick with ambition and compromise. Itanda soon learned the firm's count books were ledgers of power, whisper networks linking business, politics and tradition. He delivered envelopes in the dead of night, drove through glinting neighborhoods, overheard conversations that made his spine stiff. One night he found himself in a mansion on Victoria Island, carrying a briefcase worth millions in documents. The security guard gave him a nod, "You belong here now." Itanda's heart hammered. He thought of his simple home village, the red dust, the carved bird. Meanwhile, back in Nokegu, Nneka waited. Rumors drifted, Itanda in the city, Itanda gaining favor. She heard that the carved bird she gave him had been lost, but she refused to believe it. She clung to tradition, to the promise he made beneath the baobab tree. She visited the oracle of the river, who whispered that the city hides both blessing and curse and that when one rises, someone falls. The oracle touched a shell, then Itanda's carved bird appeared at her feet, though she did not know how. A sign. Itanda's transformation accelerated. He changed his clothes, his speech softened to city cadence, and he started calling his mother only once a month. He told himself it was progress. But one late night, after a high-stake meeting, Mr. Adeoye invited him into a hush room. There were envelopes. There were contracts. There was a man trembling. Itanda's stomach churned. He realized he was no longer a messenger of simple tasks, he was bearer of secrets powerful enough to destroy his village. He left the mansion shaken. In the taxi, the city lights blurred. He thought of Nneka, plowing the fields, the carved bird, his promise. He whispered, "What have I become?" Weeks passed. Itanda's bank account rose. He bought a small flat in the city. He told himself, "I made it." He visited again his mother in Nokegu, but he stayed only one night, too busy the next morning for the village market. Nneka met him by the granary, looked at his fine shirt. She said nothing. Her carved bird lay on his bedside table in Lagos unnoticed. That night in the city, Itanda had a dream. He stood in his village, the fields burning, the baobab tree twisted, Nneka shouting, "Remember your promise." He woke sweating, his palms cold. He touched the bird on his bedside. The wood was damp. He thought, "I will fulfill my promise." But the city tugged him in another direction. Mr. Adeoye invited him to a gala, a masquerade of governors, tycoons, influencers. Itanda wore a suit of deep blue, smiled, danced. He met a woman, elegant, poised, who whispered, "You are the rising star I heard of." He found himself charmed. He didn't tell her where he came from. He denied the dirt roads of Nokego. Meanwhile, Nneka sensed change. The carved bird atop her dresser seemed to lean, as if watching. She spoke to the oracle again. "What is coming?" she asked. The oracle traced the bird's beak. "A choice will be asked of him," the oracle said. "And if the bird is forgotten, the red earth will claim him." Back in Lagos, the elegant woman invited Itanda to her apartment. He hesitated. He thought of Nneka. He thought of the village. But he told himself, "I earned this." He entered the limousine, leaving behind the carved bird on his dresser. That same night, a break-in occurred in his flat. A masked figure smashed the bird's case, took the bird, left a scar of wood shards. Itanda came home to chaos. He ran his fingers over the broken case, the bird missing. He stared at the mirror. He hardly recognized the man looking back. Itanda's life shattered in slow motion. Without the carved bird, nights were restless, dreams darker. The elegant woman revealed her name, Ebunoloa. She came from the same village as Mr. Adeoye, though Itanda didn't know what that meant. She invited him into her world, brunches, yachts, whispering insiders. He felt proud. Yet something hollowed within. In Nokegu, Nneka heard of the bird's disappearance. She felt the omen's weight. She visited the river's edge and wept. The river spoke, "He stands at the crossroads. If he chooses gold over roots, the red earth will reclaim the dead." She came home, locked her door, touched the bird's empty place. "Return it," she whispered into the night. Meanwhile, Itanda uncovered that Mr. Adeoye's company was laundering fortunes from overseas, building political alliances, controlling markets. Itanda was involved. The elegant Ebunoloa was not just a partner, she was an insider, disguised as socialite, but connected to old village power. He discovered the city marks mirrored those in the village, ancestors hiding, traditions bending. One morning he opened his bank statement and saw transfers he didn't remember approving. He called his mother. "I am fine," he said. But he wasn't. The break-in had planted fear. A typed note lay under his door, "We know your promise." "Do you?" Itanda's mouth went dry. He looked around his flat. No carved bird. No home symbol. Just city shine. He realized he was wearing a mask, not just to the city, but to himself. At the gala that night, Ebunoloa danced with him and whispered, "Forget the village. The future is here." But as she spoke, Itanda glimpsed the red dust of Nokegu in the mirrored floor tiles reflection. He saw himself younger, feel dirty, hopeful. He looked away quickly. He left the gala early, returning to his flat. He rummaged through folders, phone records, bank statements. He found a photo of the carved bird on his phone, taken weeks before. He opened his safe. The bird was missing. His heart sank. He remembered Nneka's warning. He realized the city was glamorous, but the price might be his soul. When Itanda traveled back to Nokegu, it was not by choice but by dread. The village seemed changed too. The granary's bright lamp flickered. A new road construction cut through the fields. Nneka waited beneath the baobab tree, her eyes hardened. Amina greeted him happily, but there was worry beneath her smile. They sat by the river that evening, insects chirped. Itanda told his story, the city, the money, the missing bird. "I lost myself," he said. Nneka listened, silent. At last she said, "The bird was more than a token. It was your promise to remember. The river lapped quietly. That night, the village was stirred by news. Mr. Adeoye's company was under investigation. The bird's theft disrupted something ancient. The elders discussed in hushed voices. The city forgot the roots. One elder told Itanda, "Your rise made you forget the ancestors. They demand repayment." Itanda's blood chilled. In the city, Ebinoloa heard of the investigation. She told Itanda, "We must flee, restructure, disappear." Itanda shook his head. He said, "I need to fix this." She laughed bitterly. "Fix? You are in the game now." He realized he was deeper than he thought. Back in Nokegu, Itanda helped his mother at dawn with the corn harvest. His hands were calloused again. He looked at Neka, resilient, rooted. He felt shame for the suit he wore the day before. The red dust under his nails reminded him of who he had been. Late at night, the carved bird whispered in his mind. He returned to the village shrine, found it gone. Instead, a new carving lay, a vulture. The elder said, "The vulture comes when the guardian leaves." Itanda swallowed hard. He realized, his journey to Lagos had taken him out of the loop, and now the ecosystem of village and city demanded balance. He stayed the night under the baobab. He thought, "I must bring back the bird. I must confront Adeoye. I must choose." The next morning, he rose before dawn, resolved. In the city, Itanda confronted Mr. Adeoye. The office was sleek, the walls glass. Adeoye sat behind a desk. "Come. You're home," he said. "I had wondered when." Itanda demanded, "Where is the bird? Why was I drawn into your secrets?" Adeoye's smile twitched. "The bird is symbolism, boy. Your village's power. You brought attention. You were useful." Itanda's heart thundered. Adeoye leaned forward. "This business spans continents. We hide behind tradition, behind promise. You're part of the machine." Itanda shook. "So what? We are slaves to the past." Adeoye's voice softened. "No. We use the past. But the past demands sacrifice." Itanda left, reeling. That night, Ebinoloa called, "Meet me at the rooftop. Tonight." He arrived at twilight. The city skyline glowed. She took his hand. She said, "We have to take the flight tomorrow. Change identities." He froze. "Why?" he asked. She shrugged, "You aren't safe." He thought of Nuyokegu. He thought of the red earth. He said, "I'm not leaving without the bird." She looked at him, sadness in her eyes. "It's gone, Itanda." He felt the betrayal cut deep. Meanwhile, in Nokegu, a stranger arrived. A sleek car came down the new road. The driver delivered a package to Amina. Inside, the carved bird, broken in half, a note, "Return what is ours." Amina cried. She wrapped the bird's pieces. Neko held her sister's children by the fire and told them, "We have to wait for him." Itanda packed his things that night. He found the bird's half-piece in his suitcase. He had taken it secretly. He realized someone had given it back to him, but broken. The city looked menacing in the moonlight. He understood, the machine had dealt with homesickness by fragmenting it. The next morning, he refused Ebinoloa's flight. He told Adeoye, "I'm done." Adeoye's face hardened. "No. You are not. You have ties you don't understand." He left the office with determination. Back in the village, Itanda returned at dusk. He placed the broken bird pieces on the altar beside the granary. Neka and the elders gathered. The elder spoke, "He must walk the red earth again, before the city can be his." Itanda closed his eyes and felt the soil beneath his feet. Itanda swapped his suit for khaki trousers. He helped in the fields, harvested corn, repaired fences. He looked at Neka with humility. She kept her distance, proud, guarded. He told her everything, the city, the bird, the secrets. She listened, silent. That night, the villagers held a ceremony under the baobab tree. The elder said, "You have paid some debt. But the final test lies ahead." In the city, Adeoi's empire collapsed. Leaks, investigations, exposures. Ebunolo fled. Money dried. Itanda cut ties. He used the little savings to pay debts from the farm so his village would not suffer. The villagers were surprised. They'd heard of his wealth, they saw his return. Some applauded. Others whispered, "The city ate him whole." He ignored them. Neko approached him one morning by the river. She said, "You came back." He nodded. She handed him a new carving, a bird rising from flame. "This is our new promise," she said. He touched it reverently. The carved bird reminded him of his earlier promise, and how he forgot. Itanda visited the village shrine. The elder looked at him. "You must now choose, village or city. Love or ambition. One beats the other, yes, but do not worship both." The words burned in his mind. He asked, "Can I have both?" The elder answered, "Only if you anchor one to the other, not weigh them as equals." Itanda pondered. That night, the city's invitation came. A message from a foreign investor, "We heard of you. Return." Itanda opened the link, read the offer, millions. He shut the laptop. He went outside to the field. The moonlight kissed the red soil. He felt peace. Months later, Itanda discovered an old chest in his mother's storeroom. Inside, letters, a faded photograph of his father, not his mother's only child, his father a man he never knew. The letters revealed his father had been a partner of the village chief's family and had left with promises unkept. The carved bird featured in one letter, "Guard our legacy, it will bring you home." Itanda felt a quake in his heart. He showed Neko. She gasped. Her eyes moist. "Your father and my father were brothers in trade," she said softly. "Their promise chained the bird to our families." Itanda realized the bird symbolized far more than he knew. It was a legacy, a bridge between two families. He visited the city one last time to fetch remaining items. In his flat he found another note, slipped under the door, "Heirs awaken." His mind raced. He realized the tycoon Adeoi had targeted the heirloom to destabilize lineage. He called Ebunoluwa, she only said, "It's bigger than money." Back in Nwokegu, the elders held a lineage meeting. The chief stood, placed the bird's half-pieces on the table. He declared, "Itanda is heir. The legacy cannot pass to noise of city towers." The villagers murmured. Some resisted. But the chief held sway. Itanda accepted the role. He promised to build the community, not abandon it. He told the village, "My city days taught me much. But the real foundation is here." He laid down funds and skills for the granary, for water borehole, for youth training. The city investors' money lay unused. That night, Neko and Itanda walked to the river. He asked, "Will you join me?" She smiled, "When you lead us home." He knelt, offered her the new bird carving. She accepted. The river glowed under the moon. Meanwhile, Neko's family had arranged a suitor for her, wealthy, polished. But she refused. She told them, "I wait for the one who returns home." The village women giggled. The men sighed. But they respected her. Itanda faced the investor the following morning by video link. He said, "I appreciate, but I will stay." The investor's face twisted. "You're making a mistake." Itanda replied calmly, "Perhaps I am making a choice." The investor closed the call. As Itanda bridged the village and city worlds, challenges erupted. The investor, angered by his refusal, started backing a rival village, promising jobs, roads. Itanda's community felt the pull of easy money. Some youth betrayed him, they accepted jobs tied to the investor's projects abroad and never returned. Itanda felt the tension, the old promise of home versus the lure of escape. One night the rival-funded gathering clashed with Itanda's team at the granary. Shouts, broken bottles, the carved bird looked down in moonlight. Neko sheltered children inside the house. Itanda ran outside. He faced men waving flashlights, demanding loyalty. He raised his voice, "This land gave you birth. Not the skyscrapers overseas." The scuffle broke. The rival's leader, the investor's hand puppet, struck Itanda's friend. The villagers gasped. For the first time, Itanda considered leaving. In Lagos, the investor smirked at his board, "We lost him. Let's take his people." They unleashed media, "Village heir rejects progress." Headlines. Itanda's mother's store got vandalized. The village flinched. Itanda convened a meeting under the baobab. The villagers gathered, children silent, women tired. He said, "Progress is good, but if it severs roots, we become ghosts in our own land." He offered a compromise, a cooperative, managed by villagers, funded via city contacts but rooted in tradition. Some resisted. Some embraced. Neko stood by him. Then a stolen night happened. Itanda's flat in the village was set ablaze. The carved bird melted in part. The villagers woke to firelight. Itanda rushed inside. The bird's carving lost its wing. He cradled the charred remains. He heard laughter from the road, the rival's men. He realized, the city machine is ruthless. Neko found him outside, smoke in his hair. She touched his face. "Our home is burning," she said. He nodded, heart bitter. "The bird still flies," he whispered. Dawn crept over the fields turned to ruins. The villagers stood around the remains of the burned granary. Itanda looked at the charred carved bird. He said, "From ashes we rebuild." The chief handed him the bird's half-wing. "You saved our legacy," the chief said. "Now build its future." Itanda invited the investor and his team to a meeting under the baobab. The investor arrived, suited, arrogant. Itanda showed him the charred bird, shared the story of lineage, of promise, of roots. A hush fell. The investor's phone buzzed. The rival's misdeeds had leaked. The investor offered a handshake, "Let's partner properly." Itanda nodded, on his terms, local jobs, respect for tradition, shared profits. Neko watched from the porch, children laughing again as the granary's rebuilding began. The carved bird, repaired, perched on Itanda's desk in his new office in the village's cooperative building. He had a window overlooking the field and the skyline of Lagos in the distance. He felt both worlds. Mr. Adeoye's empire collapsed, Ebnoloa disappeared into rumors. Itanda felt sorrow but understood, this was the price of ambition unanchored. He spoke to his mother, "We are safe now." She smiled, touched his cheek. That evening, Itanda and Neko sat by the river. He held her hand. "When I left," he said, "I didn't know the city would change me. When I returned, I feared I couldn't come home." She gazed at him. "Home changed too," she said. "But you came back." He kissed her forehead. Lightning cracked overhead, an omen. The carved bird's wings glowed faintly in the thunder flash. The elder's voice echoed in Itanda's mind, "Balance is the flight of roots and wings." He realized he had learned it. Because in the end, he did not abandon his village, and he did not reject the city, he fused them. And as the rain began to fall, washing the dust from the fields, the red earth and the city lights stood together. The carved bird perched, ready for flight, just like Itanda and his home. And the promise made beneath the baobab tree was fulfilled.